myself a promise, I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? What up? What's up? Welcome into Pregaming over here at Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Ready to rock, ready to attack the board tonight. Short slate. Hate saying that, but the NHL season pops off tomorrow, and we will be ready to attack. Do not adjust your computers or TV sets. Yeah, you see it. Third spot on the card. We're going to talk about that early St. Louis Blues, Seattle Kraken action. That's a 4:30 p.m. start tomorrow. Why are we doing it? Well, shout out to my guy, Ramon Scott, reminding me that that was early action. You know we want to attack the NHL board. Look, it's our quest to get 62 units. We did it last year. We're already 1-0 in the NHL regular season this year. Shout out to that easy New Jersey Devils win on Friday. I think we got another nice look tomorrow to cook the books. But we've got Monday Night Football. We've got Monday Night Playoff Baseball. And we got a loaded card. I'm going to tell you guys this. We've got 3 plays for this Yankees game. We've got, I think there's at least 3 plays for this New Orleans game. And then just one spot for the Blues and Kraken. And then we'll tap into the NHL card for pre-gaming tomorrow. But I want to leave it with you guys to know that go out there and hit this thing, because I do expect this line will move for that Blues and Kraken game. And I'm excited. I'm fired up. You see it on the left-hand side. The crap list is back. We'll give it its rightful name in another 6 minutes. Maybe you see a recognizable figure. Maybe you don't. One, Aaron Rodgers has firmly cemented himself on the list. Now, you might say, Mike, hey, you had his over passing yards on Sunday, 225.5. We did. We also had his 250 plus at a nice big score. And he throws an interception at the end of that game, right when they needed it. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm sick and tired of seeing that guy's face. Every time I look at him, he's either constipated or coming off a losing effort. Every time I see, that's the face he's got. Tell me. Now, once I've said that, tell me you can't unsee it going forward. Can't stand the guy. Can't stand him, man. I just, you know what I forgot last year? Courtesy of the Bills knocking him out in week number 1. I forgot just how much I hated him playing for the Green Bay Packers. You know, if it wasn't for the schedule the Packers had that season with Aaron Rodgers, he probably wouldn't even be a Super Bowl champ. Worthless. Bum. And he's on that. He's on the list, boys and girls. He's on there. You know, he was permanently on my list, and I don't know what happened. I guess it was just that year off. Just a year off, I forgot. I don't care that he's 40. I don't care that he likes to take mushrooms or whatever it is that he's doing. I just don't like that stupid look on his face. I'm going to tell you, I'm an Eagles fan. You guys know that. You know I love them Eagles. Okay that they are in the position they're in. They got a lot of changes going on. But you know who I wasn't a fan of? This guy right here. Right there. Over there. Donovan McNabb. Now, granted, Syracuse, Marvin Harrison, a hell of a connection for them boys, but he had that stupid smile on his face, even when he was blowing the game. Can't stand that. Can't stand it. You know, I want my quarterback to look like he's engaged in the game. You know, I saw yesterday in the Buffalo Bills game, Josh Allen, not the best game by any stretch of the imagination for that guy, but at least he was into it. At least you looked at his face and he was upset. He's dropping F-bombs out there. He's not really yelling at guys. He just wasn't into it, and he just looked like he wasn't into it. He looked angry. That's what I want. Wear a little bit of that emotion on your sleeve and let me see it. Aaron Rodgers, man, I think he's just too used to losing. That's what it comes down to. And he's just too comfortable with that stupid look on his face that says, I'm a loser. Don't bet on me. Stop taking me in that jet spot. Now, we caught some teaser action. We made some money off of it. Just want my quarterback to have a certain look in their face when they're down in a game. Not just that, oh, man. There's another guy. He's a bum. He's not quite worthy of the poop list here, but how about Cleveland Browns effort yesterday? Commanders. Now, I was on the Commanders. We expected him to go out there. Jaden, Daniels is the thing, man. He's firing. Again, another 238 yards and a touchdown, 14 of 26, 11 carries for 82 yards as well. But, I saw it. I think it was it the second quarter or the third quarter? I think it was the second quarter. Coach wants to go for it at 4th and 1. What's Deshaun Watson do? He walks off the field. Coach is looking at him like, WTF. We're not at 8 minutes yet. And he just puts his arm on his back like, don't worry. We're going to get blasted in this game anyways. I mean, they were down 24-3 in that first half. You had a chance to go for it on 4th and 1. The coach wants you to go for it on 4th and 1. You want your quarterback to want to go for it on 4th and 1. You want him to argue, keep me out there. Much like Tom Brady when he was trying to get Gronk that $1 million reception bonus. He gives him a nice little tight end out, like 3 yards deep. Gronk catches it. Then he comes out of the game. That's what you want. You want guys that are fighters, not guys that are quitters. Man, what a weird day in the NFL yesterday, though. I mean, again, 23-17, the Jets, the Panthers, they're in trouble. They go back to Bryce. And here we go. Chicago Bears, 3-2, 3-0 at home. You guys remember I told you. Great spot, I thought, to go out there and take advantage of the Bears to win the division. But the Vikings, 5-0 are them Vikings now, and they are running and gunning. The Ravens, they handled the Bengals. We were on the Ravens in that spot as well. Patriots and Dolphins, another easy under. Patriots are that bad. It looks like they're going to go to Mayo this week. They're talking about going to Mayo. That's how you know a franchise is just lost right now. Coaching change, the post-Belichick era. Struggling at home, struggling on the road. They're struggling organization right now. And then they get their defensive captain. Did you guys see what happened with their defensive captain? Guys, I mean, sounded like a hell of a party on Saturday night, but he choked some dude out and he gets arrested with cocaine on him. I mean, look, this is the WWE. That might be a guy you want in your corner, but I don't know about that. Jaguars and Colts, disappointed. I was in the under in that game. The win conditions as well, but I don't know what happened there. 37-34. Nobody was supposed to play. Then everybody started playing. So difficult spot. That's why you got to wait to bet late to be great, because early looks in that game, nobody was going to play. Everybody comes out to ETN, Richardson, Taylor. I mean, everybody was running, and the Jaguars get that big W. They needed it out there. Expected the Bills to lose against the Texans, but I didn't expect Diggs, 6 for 82, no touchdowns against his former team. That guy's had 2 touchdowns in week 1. He hasn't done shit since then. That's right. We're past the 8-minute mark. But his former team. Now, keep an eye out, because it looks like Nico Collins, number 1 receiving wide receiver in the NFL. He went from day to day. Now they upped him this week to week. Probably going to be a little bit of a nagging long-term injury for Nico Collins. Maybe that makes Diggs live for the second half here. He was on the Broncos against the Raiders. How about this? Cardinals, 49ers. I had a sneaky suspicion that 7 was good money. Rams, Packers. I don't know. Both those teams lost. I wouldn't even care. The Rams, I don't know. They have a big second quarter, and they have a shit third quarter. Not able to make the adjustments with the team that they had out there. They lose that game 24-19. Can't cover the +3. Easy under. By the way, some of you guys still a little gun shy around the trends. Let me tell you this. I gave a couple of my buddies the under in that game. The under in the Packers and Rams game. It was an easy under. It was a 32-0 trend to the under. That trend is now 33-0 to the under. And talk about late betting is great betting here. I've already made a move today, this morning. Next week, that trend is going to go to 34-0. There is a game already identified on this total being a dead nuts under next week. I'm not going to tell you this. Maybe I will at the UFC. Maybe I will for members. Maybe you'll hear it on the NFL Prop Shop. But we got a long ways to go. We got to see how that number percolates. Cowboys, rain-delayed game. Steelers, Justin Fields. Boy, I think everybody was on Justin Fields to score a touchdown. He doesn't get it done. Man, Dak Prescott. You know, I was looking at that game. So I had the Steelers in the under in that game for a teaser. And, you know, it's fine. You know, we'll get that cash. But it was sweaty for sure. But, man, when they were driving down the field with a minute to go in that Cowboys game, I was like, the Steelers are cooked. They're done. And then it's 4th down and like 2 or something, 4th and 3. I think maybe it was 4th and 7. I stopped looking because I knew they were going to score. I knew the Steelers were done in that game. But it was an easy under. Easy under. That was the third pack of the windy unders. Talk about wind. We had rain. That was an ugly late start game out there. Experience prevailed in that game, and sometimes that's how it goes. But I'm excited about the NFL card tonight. I've got now, if you guys remember, I'm going to say this. I got a 2-player touchdown prop. Let's not forget Thursday. We cashed all 3 of those first touchdowns. We parlayed them together. We even hit the plus 255. I got the phone next to me ready to go in the event that we do see that late sharp report that we were able to cash that plus 255 on last Thursday. So if I don't see it by the time the show's done, I will release it to the members on X. Because I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry, not the members on X, the members on YouTube. Because I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support. Look, some of you guys are still hanging on to the past. New regime here. Sports money ain't like anybody else. Not like us ain't a joke. Some of the things that you expected from then are going to be entirely different from what you see now and as we go forward. And it's all about trying to, build a new core of excellence here. And we're looking forward to you guys joining us with the journey. I know there were a ton of new members gifted on Saturday. Saturday was a lot of fun. I mean, that co-main event was not a lot of fun. I've now moved to 10-4 on my UFC first strike plays, but 10-4 is not bad. It just, that one hurt. We had a nice little we had the late prelims and then getting into the main event that was humming for us, but that co-main event still leaves a mark. Finished off strong with college football, though. We had some nice big college football plays. So if you guys aren't watching them Saturday streams, maybe you're saying, hey, I'm not a big UFC fan. Don't matter. We're betting everything. Baseball, football. We're talking early look ahead spots, trying to give you guys all the action, all the insight that you guys need because, look, Sunday's our day of rest. After grinding all week, we get to Sunday. We'll put our feet up and watch the NFL just like everybody else out there. But you can always find my man, Ramon Scott, doing the morning steam, 9 a.m., Sunday to Saturday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Sunday, however you want to look at it. That dude is grinding every single day. So if you guys haven't checked that show out yet, you're missing out. Love to see what he's got going on. And we got a short card today. So we took a little spin around the block to see what was going on out there. Tomorrow, the NHL starts. Tomorrow, we've got the WNBA. I already made a move on a WNBA trend, 39-12 going into tomorrow's WNBA action. So I expect that line's going to move. Let me see if it's moved already. Let me see if it's moved already. And action does not have the action up. It's moving. It's moving. Oh, maybe we'll see. We'll see if we give that one out maybe later tonight. I got dinner plans tonight, so maybe that won't happen. We'll see. We'll see. But look at just a sneak peek of things that are to come. The NHL, I'm fired up for that season to start. I can't wait to share it with you guys here with what we have going on. Cashed already in the NBA preseason. We got that under in the early game today. No NBA preseason here for you guys. As I look at the card, if I was going to move on any team, I'd move on the Dallas Mavericks +8. It's just a lean for you guys. Just a lean, but I know some of you guys want that NBA action. 2-1 to start the NBA preseason here, but I do like that Dallas Mavericks +8 spot. It started off at 7s. It started to move its way on up to 8. That's an 8-10 start. So I'll have a couple shillings on that game, but look, we got time. We don't have to rush into the NBA. It's hard enough to figure out. Albeit, shout out LeBron James and his kid. NBA history yesterday, second quarter. I believe they were. Was it the Suns? I don't know. They're down in Phoenix. They both started. They did the natural rotation. Second quarter starts. They bring in the rooks. LeBron stays out there. In comes Bronny Jr. First time ever father-son combination in the NBA. 22 years for Bron, senior Bron. And his kid turned 20. So he started 2 years before his kid was even born. And he feels like he's been talking about playing with his kid for the last 20 years. So it was exciting to see that finally happen yesterday. But let's go. Let's get to work here. No reason to keep everybody around unnecessarily long. We got plenty to talk about with these games. Plenty of action to get into. All we ask you guys to do is hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, that's the show of support. It costs you nothing, but it helps us continue to grow. We've been growing like crazy, man. We got almost, I think, 750 members. We are just a smidge. I expect probably by Wednesday. By Wednesday, we'll have had 100,000 views on Sports Money. And that's super exciting because we started off with 5 of you guys watching us on Saturday's UFC show. And we're only growing. It's fun. It's fun to be a part of. We got new shows, new content coming down the pike, new people reaching out that want to be involved in what we're doing. And that makes it fun too. So stay tuned. More to come. As for now, hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. Help us continue to crack this YouTube algorithm and let them know we're here. Pregaming ain't going nowhere. Not going to look like everything else you guys watch. It's going to be different. We're going to continue to build it in a different model. But we appreciate you guys that do support us. And happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Look, the best in the business assemble here 6 p.m. after marinating on the card all day. They come to share their best plays. So get your pen and paper ready. We're going to take a spin through the chat and talk about those best bets that everybody's on. Make sure you share them in the chat. Love to see what you guys are cooking with as well tonight. Love when we align. But before we even get started, look, it's a real deal down there in Florida. Shout out and safety, best wishes to everybody with them impending storms. Category 5 hurricanes are no joke. And it's a weird looking path. Looks like it was starting in the Gulf. It's going to move across Florida to the Atlantic. I don't know what that's all about, but nonetheless, safety first. I know quite a few of you guys are down there in Florida. We wish you and your family safety. Be prepared. Get ready. Don't do anything crazy. No sense to take pictures of the storm. But if you're going to take a video, make sure you send it to me. I like to see it. I'm not advocating anybody do that, though. Safety first. Stop the job. Stop everything else. Board up the windows. Get ready because that one looks like it's going to be a banger. And you guys will be in our thoughts and prayers. Wishing you guys and your family safety and good health. So, and the folks that are in Carolina, I know you guys are just dealing with a massive hurricane that came through there, flooding galore, just pure carnage out there. So, I know we're having fun. We like to gamble. We like the cocktail and all that other stuff too, but safety first. So make sure you guys are more than careful. Take precautions. Look, maybe you don't need me to tell you this, but some dummies down the road for me needed to be told this. When you got 3 feet of rain in the road, don't drive your car through it. When it comes up past the muffler, all you're going to do is fuck your car up. There's no need to drive through it. Park it. Expect to be waiting a long ass time. And hopefully you're not out traveling with those conditions that pop up. So we'll be thinking about all you guys as we get to that. And let's get to this card. Let's get into it. Let's talk about how we're going to get paid. Exciting. I know there's when you have a short card, I start doing a lot of that look ahead spots to try to find the grinding opportunities. And I think we've got those. So let's see what's going on in the chat again. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and let's see. Commenter numero uno. 99.5% first comment right here. Joseph Thompson, Joe T, author of the Fuck You're Under play of the day. He likes the field goals. over 3.5 field goals for this game, I believe is the total. Tell me I'm wrong, Joe, but for this game, plus 125 over 3.5 field goals. Look at my guy Sub, all ready to get back into the octagon. He's got UFC Vegas 98 parlay. Tierra Carpenter, plus 121. You better take those plays now because A, he's dropping them in there. He loves them. B, you know what happens with these early looks. It's going to probably be like even money or you're going to be laying odds by the time the UFC gets here. And speaking of the UFC, it's an early start. I believe it's a 4 p.m. card. So we'll start around 3:30. You know, we like to get in there early to give you guys our best looks, talk about the fight breakdowns, how we think they're going to go, the spots that we really like versus the spots that we sort of like. All trying to get paid. Shout out to Justin McKelvey. Speaking of getting paid, my guy, author of the Stacks Play of the Day. The sports money is money. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you always rocking with us. Voodoo Ranger says number 9, assuming that's like number 9. I hope we're a hell of a long ways past that. Take the time to give you guys afternoon action tomorrow. All I need you guys to do is hit that thumbs up button. Show the support. David Wallace, my dude, likes Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. Tay-Tay should be in the building tonight. It's a Tay-Tay sighting. We'll talk about Travis Kelce and his performance or lack thereof thus far. Futon Bets got a little Cole Raggins over 5.5 Ks. Like that look. Shout out to Bo Jackson, my dude's rocking with us. He's flexing for us. Philly Eagle Flyer, best name in the business. Let's go. Presidential Minded Kings likes the Saints money line tonight. Wow. I like the bold. I like the audacity. Lil Domo says, yo. Let's make sure we're behaving. Winner Circle says, hey, yo. He likes Chiefs money line. He likes Carr over 1.5 touchdowns. I like that. You know, when you're going on both sides of the equation like that, you're going to get the better odds, right? It's that non-correlated factor. Good stuff. Good luck to you, Winner Circle. Let's go. Presidential Minded King says, whoa now, pimp and family. It is a family, man. We are building. We are growing. We spend a lot of time together, right? Probably spend more time than we see the rest of our family. So it's important that we build this thing, that we find winning bets. Shout out to Talk Sports with JT. Appreciate you rocking, my dude. There's Trisha M. Hello, money makers. There's Old E. Says, what up, fam? Had a real solid weekend. Now the storm is killing the vibes. Ah, man. I know. I was thinking about you guys, man. I had to take my plant. It was raining like crazy this weekend. I had to take the plant and prep it up. Can't have those giant bud sacks becoming giant water balloons. That's not good for the growth process out there. Rain is a real thing, man. Let's go. Philly Eagle Flyer says, boom, cash this game tied. Speaking of this game, let's see where we're at. Some of you guys had reached out to me. Talking plays. I'm going to tell you this. Those guys that did reach out to me earlier asking about the plays. I'm on the Guardians. I live bet the Guardians as well. They were plus 123. I think I got them at earlier. Then the game started. They went down to minus 110, so I popped on them there. Let's see what they're doing right now. Minus 120. Minus 130. Look, I think we're past the Scooble era now, aren't we? Yep. And this is where the Cleveland Guardians bullpen comes into play. So get ready, get set, let's go. Dana Dupp's ready to go. He's got the first 5 and full game unders for that KC spot. I think that's a great look. Shout out to Juggler 23. Here we go. These are the trends. Since 2021, Monday Night Football games with a spread of less than 7 and a total between 48 and 40 or 40 and 48.5 have gone 27 and 4 to the under. Let's go. Saints and Royals money line parlay for Presidential Minded Kings. You know what's funny is I'm a sucker for them same city bets. I couldn't pull it tonight. Now I didn't go Saints money line, but I like that look. Presidential Minded Kings. The only problem I have with that is KC is my second chance survivor. Look, I hope a bunch of you guys got ready to go for that second chance survivor. Flea Mathis, a solid weekend. Nicholas Handy's in the house. There's Keith. Each every stride. I think my dude won 7 UFC fights on, what was it, like a 12 or 13 spot card. Cashed a plus 1,600. Keith's really figuring this MMA thing out. It's such a fun thing to have him be a part of the team as we get growing. Jay Main's in the house. Big Worm. Big Worm says, no sound, bro. Did I just spend all this fucking time with no sound? Do I have sound? Dude, if I have no sound, that's bad. That's bad. Let's go. I hope I had sound. Trisha M. Milton is pissed. Do what you can and get out ASAP in the zone. Cliff Yang. This is Mike. Aaron, words to tell you. Fuck Aaron. How about that? Fuck Aaron. That's what I think about A. That's look at. See that look right there? That's that stupid look that's always on his face every time he's down. Chris Sellis says, drill, baby, drill. Jay Main says, Olave, anytime touchdown. Justin McKelvey says, I can hear him. Bo Jackson says, Perk Rogers. Yeah, man, I mean, shit. I played hockey on perks. I was flying around like fucking Superman. I wasn't sitting out there sucking the proverbial, you know what? Let's go. Jay Main says, Mike, me and you both. I'm still not a McNabb fan. Yeah. He's a hater. Likes to get himself some cocktails and drive as well, which is obviously a problem. Chris Sellis says, nobody pots worse than Justin Fields. I haven't seen enough Justin Fields to see how he pots. I mean, he was rushing all over the field last year, getting himself 100+ rushing yards. So that was all good to me. Stop Geo Engineer. It's good to see you back. Says, Mike, good luck tonight, brother. And chat, Irish Kings in the house. Oh, man. Look, dude. I wouldn't have highlighted. Not that I wouldn't have highlighted you, Irish King. I just wouldn't have highlighted that. Look, man, they mad. It's okay. It's okay. We already talked about it. We're not going to speak on it again. Oldie says that game last night wouldn't finish. Jay Main says, I had the Bears defense. Rob McMahon, what's up, Pimp Slap and fam? Saints team total over 19.5. Ha. I'm going to have to start using the hashtag Vodka style. Irish King, it pisses me off sometimes, dude, but you know, it is what it is. Haters gonna hate, maybe. Let's go. Red Beard in the house. You guys be careful down there in Florida, man. Joseph Alvarado rocking in. It's money, hoes, and kilos. That is the New England Patriots defensive motto. Oldie says, how about the Iowa team total under, though? Uncle Mike. Yes, sir. Good work. Good work. Stop Geo Engineer. SGP boosted on DraftKings to plus 1425. Kelsey, anytime touchdown. Mahomes, 25+ rushing yards. Juwan Johnson, 25+ rushing yards. Here we go. Both teams to score 20 points. Olave touchdown, Kelsey touchdown, Worthy touchdown. I'm good with a Worthy touchdown. Got him in fantasy this week. Last player to go. Busted up my opponent thanks to Joey Burrow and Jamar Chase. Man, they firing on some cylinders right now. Trisha M's on the Tigers. What a pitching seminar in this game. You know, interesting enough, every single game had gone over in this divisional series until today. Winner Circle says, enough with the Pats slander, Pimp. I wasn't slandering the Pats. I was just saying their defensive cap. Maybe I was. Maybe I did. Foster Moreno for our guy Keith, over 9.5 receiving yards. Chiefs have struggled versus tight ends this year. Stop Geo says he teased both 6+ dogs this week, and they ended up both cashing out. Right? Remember what we talked about? Right? There we go. That puts 6+ point dogs at like 18-2. That's exactly what we talked about. Tease up. Remember, we talked about that last week. We tease up, not down. Although I teased down yesterday with the Steelers, but teasing up. Books were salivating at, you know, users that were teasing down favorites, and they've been getting cooked. Coin says it's a shame someone has to lose this Cleveland-Detroit game. Skunt Blaster in the house. Author of the Skunt Bag POD says, tough game last night. We were 2.5 hours into the live stream last night, and the game had, dude, been there before. We did that for the Copa Championship, right? They had that. We were thinking, it's like a 2-hour game. We'll get in and we'll get out. Took almost 3 hours to start. Shout out to Kelly McKinnis in the house. Afternoon Money, Mike, like, smash, J Main. Giving Ramon the shout out. Tarek B, a new member. Thank you, Tarek B. Let's go. Bill McDonald says, do you post members place somewhere? I do. If you are following the channel, turn your notifications on because I do release. Man, so I released yesterday for the members the Bills teaser. We teased up the Bills, and then we teased the over. So that brought the over down to, 40.5, right? They got to 43. We had that 5-leg touchdown prop. 5-leg touchdown prop. It was a fun bet, right? But 5 legs, 3 cashed. They still offered me a shit payout. That was disappointing. JW says ramen noodles. Kelly McKinnis is a new member. J Main. I think everyone knows. Hopefully it holds tonight. Flea Mathis, is anyone going to win this MLB game? Coin says, what a catch by Quan. Kelly McKinnis, can't let the members fire shitty, renewed, and on auto. Thank you. Thank you for that, my guy. Let's go. Shout out Joe Dub with the $4.99 super sticker, my guy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Saints money line for Redbeard. Oh, man. State of emergency down there. That's what I thought. I thought you guys were going to be in some turmoil. Silent Rob says butt puckered. Be safe, you guys. Safety first above all else. Bill McDonald has Mahomes 2+ passing touchdowns. Kamara touchdown. Buckner over 1.5 field goals. Irish King likes Mahomes 300+ yards. There's Joe T. His plays dropped to +110. Here we go. Group over 1.5 field goals. Carr over 214.5 passing yards. Kelsey over 5.5 receptions. Olave anytime touchdown. Olave over receiving yards 59.5. Saints +6 under 43. TikTok, Mikey. What about that Liberty game? Any thoughts for tomorrow? I do have thoughts. That's the game I'm talking about. We'll see. We'll see where we get to. T. Gray. Appreciate you, T. Gray. I appreciate you with the kind words, my friend. I know, look, we move forward, brother. And I'm glad that you are moving forward with us. The real Jolly Roger. Looks like September 28th breakup was false. It seems like it, doesn't it? Although I did say, I thought he would be having a shit season. And then he would just look in the mirror and say, okay, I got to move forward. So M says, I had you. Hey, man, listen. It's not me versus anybody. It's me versus the books. And still making content gold. It's all good. I'm not even there. Making content gold. Bo Jackson says, damn, what a catch. Kelly McKinnis says, I hear you. Fine. Okay, let's go. Shout out to Barry in the house. Chris Mack. Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks. JPV 1951. Appreciate you. Fletcher Barry. Tech B, I'm going over on the Chiefs Saints game. Still better. Now, you guys are going to hear me with this one play, and you're going to think I'm fucking crazy, but I'm going to share it with you anyways, and we're going to take it. I already took it, so I'll tell you what the number was, and then I'll look to take it live again. Ricky Levine. What's good, Ricky Levine? Says Brad Allen, home favorites are 29-11 to the over. Kelly V says wins blowing out over 7, Kansas City. Futon Bets likes an Austin Matthews goal. What's not to like? Man, you guys are rocking tonight. I'd love to see this, man. You guys are firing. Flea Mathis says Travis has scored a tutty in week 5 the past. Oh, boy. Casey's on the bye next week. Home favorites or road dogs good on the bye. Yep. Chosen one. Appreciate you rocking. Voodoo likes Juju. Juju Smith-Schuster, 25+ yards at +160. We know Rashee Rice is out of that thing. So I know, Tarek B. As soon as I said that, dude, I remembered I think you were on your phone the other day and you were like, I can't find the spot to do it. I remember, brother. I got you. Let's go. Redbeard. I'm in Volusia, ready to not have power to an extended period of time. Generators are staged. Man, I'm struggling to read here today, huh? Let's go. Enough of the butt rubbing. Let's get into it. We only got 3 games. You guys make some great bets, though. So I always want to recognize what you guys are doing. Yeah, we're building this community, but it's all based on us putting our effort in, doing the work to come in prepared and ready to play. Now, sometimes that doesn't happen, right? Sometimes we got shit to do. We got no time to prep for it. And all we can do is lean on each other, cap to capper, and that's fine. You guys all put the time in. We all kind of go around the horn trying to figure this thing out. So let's figure this Kansas City game out. Let's get right into baseball. Let's get rocking. We'll keep a brisk pace for everybody. Kansas City Royals, New York Yankees. I love what I'm seeing right now. Right this second. I just refreshed it. I love what I see. They open at -150, them Yankees. Now, first of all, for the Yankees being home team in the playoffs, seems like a questionable number. 88% of the bets, 81% of the cash on the Yankees. You guys know the deal. We look at the percentage of bets, indicative typically of the public betting. It's the parlays, it's the teasers, it's the round robins, it's the player props, it's all of the tickets. Then we look at the percentage of cash. What are the bigger bettors doing? Bigger bettors typically aren't parlaying 10 teams together and hoping, or same game part. They're just going in hard on something. And then we look at the book's reaction. So with all of this money coming in on the Yankees, this line's dropped from -150 to -145. We look at the total, it is dropping as well. From an 8 to a 7.5. 94% of the bets. 91% of the cash on the over. And it's Rodon and Reagans. Yep. Here we go. We saw, of course, that last game, Yankees take that big lead at the end. And, well, not a big lead, but they take the lead at the end. And they find a way to come through with it. You know, looking at this game, a couple things I thought. First of all, we got a ton of numbers to talk about and factor into this one. The biggest thing to me, the two key players on that Yankees team, Judge and Stanton, have not found their playoff groove yet. Offers. Now, I misread the Rodon spot. I expected Rodon to be due for regression. He's 10-4 on the season when he starts at home. The Yankees are 6-1 in those starts. He's only allowing 2 runs a game in 7 of those starts. His home ERA is 1.58 points better than when he's on the road. He's a home pitcher. We got a fresh Reagans coming into this one. Just 80 pitches against the Baltimore Orioles. Shut them boys down. What do they do with them Kansas City Royals after he shoots 92 or less pitches? Well, they're 5-0. You take a hot pitcher. He doesn't have to go out there and crush it. He's showing control. He's showing command. He's showing an ability to go out there and execute. It don't matter if it's the postseason. 5-0 are them Royals in those spots. All 5 games, by the way, they go under the number. Talk about the plays that I'm on. We'll talk about how I derived them. This 5.5 was sitting at 3.5, so it did peak back up just a smidge here as we got going. But the only guy of effectiveness when it comes to this Yankees team right now, especially, well, at least against Reagans. Well, I won't even say that. Not just against Reagans. Just in general. The only guy effective out there, Juan Soto. He's hitting at 333 against Reagans. Gleyber Torres got a 0. Aaron Judge got a 0. Austin Wells got a 0. Giancarlo Stanton's got a 0. Jazz Chisholm's got a 0. Anthony Volpe's got a 0. Alex Verdugo's got 500. Only 2 at-bats. And John Birdie's never seen. Cole Reagans, with limited arm use, goes out there and shoves, holds his opponents down. On the other side with Carlos Rodon, only guy that really jumped off the page at me, Salvador Perez, 26 at-bats against Carlos Rodon. 12 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. That's a .462 batting average. Then you look at the lefty-righty matchups. He's hitting 300 against lefties. Second best on the team behind Bobby Witt Jr. Now, when you look at Perez, these are the 3 legs of the crown, if you will, the 3 legs of the stool, as I talked about with our informed betting decisions by using tools, technology, and expertise to make informed betting decisions. When it comes to the RBI numbers, I look for a couple things. Are you priced at plus 145? That has been the sweet spot year in and year out for me with this RBI game. You know, we started that RBI shit. This is the motherfucking thanks we get. Then we look at it and say, okay, he's leading the team across the board, lefties and that 462 number. And then last but not least, he's in the cleanup position, the 4-hole. We called that the boo-boo position last year because it put it in the bookies boo-boo. 145 at-bats against lefties, 43 hits, 9 home runs, 25 RBIs. It's actually a 297. He's got Garcia in front of him, who's hitting 226 against lefties. Bobby Witt's out there with that 316 I mentioned. I saw a couple of you guys on Bobby Witt. I like that number. But then there's Vinny Pasquantino, the lefty-on-lefty matchup. He's still hitting almost a 250 against lefties. I think if anybody's going to go put it out, get it out there, make some runs happen, it's got to be Perez. I like that plus 145 spot. And then I took the Kansas City Royals. When you look at these games out here, big prop number. I just mentioned, the overall prop numbers between Rodon and, they're both shoving, right? They're both shoving in these positions. But playoff teams that won less than or equal to 80 games in the regular season are 52-21. It was good enough to push me over the nut, taking that Now plus 120. What was the number? 126, best number you can get out there. She's coming down. 125s, 124s, 122s. Well, probably not a 122 at Caesars. We know that they drag their asses at making updates. I'm going 3 wide. Going 3 wide in this Kansas City Royals game. Tell me what you guys think about that. Scut Blaster. The scuttbag play of the day, number 1 is Kareem Hunt anytime touchdown. The Saints plus 7.5 and the Yankees Royals under 8. Parlay. Plus 175. I see he's got the Saints plus 7.5 and the game under 8 at plus 175. I like it. I like it. Let's go. Good reminders, Mikey, KC, Perez, good numbers. Absolutely. Oh, fuck. The Tigers just popped them 3-0. That's not what you want to see. Those aren't things you want to see. All right, let's go. Let's keep her moving. Damn. And it's in the 9th inning, too. Damn. All right, onward we go. Onward and upward. Let's keep this brisk pace here. Just 2 more games to talk about with you guys, and we'll get everybody up out of here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Support the cause, support the crew, support sports money. Help us support this YouTube algorithm as we talk about this NFL game. This is a fun one. I told you already, sneak peek. Kansas City. Yeah, I went chalky. Now I went chalky with Cincinnati in week 1, but my second chance survivor pick, we had huge line movement. This thing came from an 8 down to a 5.5. Now, no doubt, some of that's got to be a factor of the health or lack thereof of this Kansas City Chiefs offense. Pacheco goes out. They bring in Kareem Hunt. We see Rashee Rice goes out. Now they got to trust, Worthy, rookie they picked up. And they got someone, Juju Smith-Schuster's another guy they bring in. We'll talk about it. Travis Kelce's not having the season that I'm sure he expected to have out there. And there's been a lot of drop in the money line. Normally, I don't talk about the money line when you're seeing 5.5s and 6s, but man, this thing's come down to $1.50. Now sitting at minus 230 with 85% of the bets and 92% of the cash. Just taking that money line with the Chiefs. Saying there's no way they lose this game. I hope not. From a survivor perspective, it'd be embarrassing. Get nuked first week 2 times in a row. The total opened at 8.5. As I mentioned, it's gone down to 5.5, but there are some 4.5s out there. We have 58% of the bets and 65% of the cash on the Saints. So those are kind of some of the numbers that you certainly want to see. Correlated movement between the cash. They're trying to make that Chiefs team more attractive to bet. There's a lot of narratives here. The star player theory, certainly. Rashee Rice goes out. I don't know who the star player is that steps up in this case, or the guys that are going to come in to fill the gap. Then we look at the total that is coming down as well. 44.5 has moved to 43s now. There's still 43.5s out there, but we see some 43s finally. 82% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the total. And we're moving. We're moving and we're grooving on that thing out there. Everybody likes to see points, but is that going to be the case here? We know. Let's just get the monkey off the bat. Primetime unders are 56 and 22. Yeah, puke. Monday Night Football unders are 27 and 4 in their last 31 games. But let's not forget about last week. 0 and 2 to those unders. We saw last week, speaking of the Chiefs going out there, Chargers, Patrick Mahomes. His season's interesting. He's got that 6 touchdown, 5 interception situation over 4 games, but they are 4-0. And they are going on a bye. That being said, let's talk about the Chiefs against the spread, and then we'll factor in the bye. When the Chiefs are favored by 3 or more points, going back to November of 2020, they're not a good cover team. They're 18 and 31 against the spread. But some of the factors that I looked at as I got into this thing, I was kind of looking at a little bit more. Andy Reid. Jesus, man. We know Andy Reid coming out of the bye. How about Andy Reid going into the bye? He's 16 and 2 since 2008. Back to them Eagles days. Going into the bye. 16 and 2 against the spread. But I think I can cancel some of that out. Now, the Saints are off of back-to-back losses. There's no question about it, right? Not looking good. Not looking good with an asterisk, though. Olave's been banged up. We've seen, Kamara got banged up a little bit as well. Both those guys were kind of questionable last week as they went into this thing. And, what do we see? We saw a 26-24 loss at Atlanta. They covered, They were getting 3 points. They covered. They lost to the Eagles. Yeah. They didn't cover. But they've been a cover team. They covered against Dallas. They covered against Carolina. They nuked Carolina 47-10. It's those divisional games that they're covering, to me, that jumped off the page, because the narrative used to be, the Dogs don't cover in those divisional games. They tend to stay under. Not with the Saints team. Not with Derek Carr. They're flying. Derek Carr 20-8 against the spread. Road dog coming off a loss. I think that might be enough to cancel out a little bit of this Mahomes juju that's going on out there. Now, Mahomes, 245 passing yards against the Chargers. He went out there. He earned that win. 17-10. They were down in that game. They were laying 7. They pushed, but they're kind of win one, lose one against the spread. Guess what? They are in technically a win one position. I was looking at this game and I thought to myself, there's the number one prop bet that's going on out there right now is to see Kareem Hunt, his over rushing yards. 99% of the money's on this dude to go over. He opened at 39.5. It's now 49.5. Somebody might know something. Somebody might know that with Rashee Rice out, they're going to rush this game. They got to rush all over the field. They got to control the clock, which is going to tend to lead to an under for us. Not only that, but they're going to have to get creative with how they rush. Now, they brought Kareem Hunt in to be that goal line back. Why do I think that's important? Because we're seeing a little bit of sluggishness out of Kelsey. Now, can Kelsey get it together by the end of the season? Sure. He's out there dancing around fucking the world and the planet on the Tay World Tours in his offseason. I'm sure he's going to get it together. But some interesting numbers that we're getting some juice. And now this line is moved and it's juiced on the move is Worthy. Wide receiver rookie I just talked about, and probably got to be the guy that steps up a little bit for Rashee Rice. His rushing yard prop went from over 2.5 to over 3.5. And it's juiced, minus 120s, minus 130s. There's minus 148s out there on this wide receiver to rush for over 3.5 yards. Tells me that they're going to take this ball out of the air and they're going to try to put it on the ground as I start seeing those numbers. I was looking at a couple of the wide receiver props. Olave. I see a lot of you guys like Olave. What's not to like, except the fact that he's been dealing with injury. His receiving totals at 60 yards. But then we look on the other side. Shaheed leading the team on this New Orleans Saints side of things. He's only pegged at 50 receiving yards. The difference between these two guys, though, how about this? Olave, the number one, everybody knows that's the guy in the primary position. You put your best backs on him. He's got 24 targets this year. He's averaging 13 yards and 67 yards a game. 13 yards per catch, 67 yards a game. Don't sleep on Shaheed. He's got 25 targets. They're finding him equally, in fact, more than they're seeing Olave. His average, 17 yards. He's got a catch of over 80 yards on the season this year. He's averaging 63 yards a game. So when you start looking at the numbers between Olave and Shaheed, I don't know if I want to lay that 60 or 59.5 or 60.5 for Olave's receiving yards. You know what I did like? I like Shaheed 60 plus receiving yards. We look at kind of what the corollary point for that is to me. Well, Kamara, third bet prop here is Kamara under his rushing yards, 65.5. We know that we see a situation where the saving grace for the New Orleans Saints has been finding Kamara in the flat, rushing out. They're sacking or they're rushing the quarterback. What's he do? He flips it off to the side and it's Kamara. 4.5, 5.5. I saw somebody today take 7.5 receiving attempts or receiving receptions is the word I'm trying to say, specifically against this Kansas City team. Kind of does suggest to me, again, tick, 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 right? We're going to see these numbers coming down. We talked about those primetime numbers. The thing I don't like about the rushing yards for Kamara, man, look at this fucking Kansas City rush defense. J.K. Dobbins has back-to-back games with the Chargers of over 100 rushing yards. Gets the Kansas City's defense. He gets 14 carries. He only gets 32 rushing yards. The week before, they play the Falcons, Bijan Robinson and company. No rusher on the Atlanta Falcons got over 32 rushing yards as well. So I believe they shut that down. Where I'm going with this whole equation, with this whole process of how I'm looking at these player props and how they correlate to the numbers that I'm taking advantage of here. Oops. That shouldn't say ho. It's not Christmas. They ain't no hoes. I'm teasing up. But let's get to it here. Let's talk a little bit about this. I'll start with the last one first. The 2-player touchdown props out. Hunt, I saw him priced around plus 140. I think as the goal line back, I do believe they're going to struggle in that red zone to punch it through because Kelsey just doesn't seem like he's got it together. I get the Tay factor, but look, she's not on the field playing. So it's all good. But I think, Hunt was brought in. Last week we were on Hunt to get the touchdown. He didn't. I'm going to go right back to that prop. And I'm going to Shaheed. Why Shaheed? Because I just told you he's getting more targets than the number one guy that's out there in Olave, who is banged up, who is going to catch primary coverage. And I think that here through the rotation, if you're sitting there as the quarterback for the Saints, you're looking to see what Olave's doing, and he's bottled up. You look off to the flat to see Kamara, but we know that explosive big play threat is Shaheed. He's got that 80-pluser on the season. Those two guys in the touchdown process, those two-player parlay is plus 650, Shaheed and Hunt. Now, I took the teaser. I teased up on New Orleans. We talked about that at the preface of the show, at the start of the show, that we're teasing up. We don't tease down. We tease up. This can probably be a situation where as long as Kansas City doesn't blow them out, should be a tight game, and that correlates to that under that we talked about with the primetime. But I'm teasing that primetime number from 43 to 49. I want that extra touchdown in my back pocket. I don't expect this to be that rock'em sock'em blowout that we saw last week with both those NFL games. Let me talk to you about this first quarter. I don't like to take a lot of these first quarter bets, but I saw some intersecting zeros, and I had to jump in on it here. And this first quarter number started at a half. It's moved up to plus 1.5s. Plus 1.5s at minus 132. There are still some plus a halves out there at minus 120. If you can get the 1.5, I take it. Even if it's a tie at the plus a half, you're still going to win. The Saints are 4-0 in the first quarter. They're leading the NFL in first quarter scoring. So tie this back together. This is how we kind of connect the dots with these trends, right? We just talked about quarterback for the Saints and his ability after a loss to bounce back and crush him. Got himself a solid little thing going out there. Derek Carr, 20-8. Then we look at the Chiefs side of things. How about this? 0-4 against the spread. Just 3 total first quarter points scored over the last 3 games. 3. They start slow. I actually fucked this up because there's 2 other spots that I have in here. Just for full fairness and plays that I made here today. Shaheed 60-plus receiving yards is plus 175. The other one that I had out there, you're going to have to live bet this one, most likely. Type this in there so we can get it on the screen. It's at minus 115 on DraftKings right now. Yeah, it's a loaded game for me. I don't like to load up like this on this, but there's only 2 games tonight, and you guys know that sweet spot for me is 10. 10 spots I like to have in play because I know we'll carve them, especially with these plus money spots. But I got the Shaheed 60-plus receiving yards at plus 175. I'm flip-flopping Olave and Shaheed in this game. I think it's Shaheed could do it in one game, 1 yard. He's averaging such a significant number out there. 2 catches for this guy is going to put us over that number at a big plus money spot. Now, you could take the 50-plus at minus 110. That's fine. But I'm going 60-plus for the big score. See that last one? Kansas City second half under 21.5. I believe it's 27 of 29 games? The second half has gone under in the Kansas City Chiefs games. They're not scoring in the second half. Now they're coming back to win in most cases because they got the Mahomes magic in that fourth quarter, but they fuck around. They just kind of paw around out there. They've got a terrific run defense. The other team's running. That's draining the clock. They go out there. They start running. That drains the clock. They get a lot of completions because they're dink and dunkers. Nobody dinks and dunks better at this point than Patrick Mahomes. And we see that ineffectiveness of Kelsey to catch it across the middle and go 45 yards for a big first down the field. But that second half, under 21.5. What made me love it? Not just the fact that there's just a tremendous run for that second half under. They got the bye coming up. We see that teams, especially if they catch that lead or they're just dominating the clock, they just kind of fuck around in that second half. They're not trying to get anybody hurt going into the bye. Made a lot of sense when you saw those numbers with Kansas City that we do take that second half under 21.5. They're going to paw that clock down. They're going to try to run it out. They just want to get out of there. And if they are up that touchdown or whatever, look at that. After that 2-minute warning, knee, game over. So look for that. If you can't get it live now, if you can't get it pregame now, DraftKings had it at 21.5 minus 115. But look to live bet it. What I'm concerned with is if this first half opens up and we see, 28 points in the first half, what do they peg that second half number at? Is it 18.5? We just lost a field goal in the number. So I'm taking the gamble now that we're going to be at 21.5. Scoring be damned. I think this is a great opportunity for us to take advantage. It's a wide number. So it's the Saints first quarter plus 1.5. It's the teaser. It's the 2 parlay spot. It's Shaheed 60 plus, and it's Kansas City. This isn't a same game parlay. I broke the same game parlay down because we keep falling one fucking spot short, and it's frustrating and it's costly. And I'm not here to fucking lose money. I'm here to make money. We made some great money on those touchdown props with Tampa Bay last week. I do believe we had the game script nailed out for this one. So let's close that game off right there. You guys tell me what you think, though. You like any of those player props? You like any of the shit that I had to talk about there? I don't like that I just saw Detroit win that game. Shout out to you, though. Trisha M. Big spot out there. In fact, Trisha M says, like the Saints play, but I fear the off-field drama. Swift at game, Kelsey birthday. Refs love to protect the sacred NFL cow. That's why I'm teasing. That's why I'm teasing. I'm going to tease up because we've been winning, and our guy Juggler23 talked about that significant clip. Brian Smith likes the margin of victory at 1-6. It's plus 275. That's not bad. And plus 425 for the Saints. Yeah, and he says, we know they don't cover. Just can't see it. Kansas City blowout. I agree. Coin says the Rice knee injury not as bad as believed per Schefter, and he could be back sooner than later. Okay. Mel, she's on Olave under 59.5 receiving yards. Also, Olave longest under 22.5. Yeah, I mean, we all know he's the number one guy on the team, but they're finding a way to move it around. Derek Carr, don't give a shit about Olave's loyalties at this point. He wants to win games. That's how you get these guys figuring it out. Yes, play on Kansas City baseball game. All right, let's go. Let's talk about this hockey game. Last game, why hockey? Why now? Because it's the fucking NHL regular season. We popped off with that big game, and we talked about it Thursday night. The Sabres come out there Friday afternoon. They blow it as expected. No disrespect, Real Deal Prime. But it was a bad spot for them. And now let's look at this game that we have coming up here between the Seattle Kraken and the St. Louis Blues. Now, some of you guys don't like it when I talk about this stuff, but it is what it is. You can't argue with the number. 62.5 units last year on that last call show. All 1 unit plays. Nobody fucked around. We were giving out the plays on screen, live, on a regular basis. No 3 spots with the same team. Just single play. Let's go get him. And we're going to go get him again this year. We look at this game. Afternoon start out there in Seattle. Hopefully we can turn more of you guys into some hockey fans because it was such a profit. I can't tell you. I was talking to like our producer backstage and stuff, and he's like, man, I had a bad NBA day, but he's like, dude, your hockey saved me. This and that. I heard a lot of that. And it's just because a lot of the trends do kind of jump to the top when it comes to the NHL. We don't care so much about cash flow splits. In fact, we barely talked about them last year, and I probably won't do that again this year. And I won't start with them right now. So the only one I will tell you about, we'll see. We'll see. What do we know about these two teams? What do we got going on? Some of you guys are probably like, hockey? I don't know. Well, I'll tell you what I know. We look at the power rankings right now. We're going to use some of that to dictate the pace for us, but we do have a strong trend that we're going to play on. Goaltending is much in hockey like baseball pitching is in Major League Baseball. And we've got Jordan Binnington and Joey Decord out there. Now, Binnington had a huge season a couple years ago, but he shit the bed last year. He definitely wasn't there, or at least all there. Yeah, he had a 2.82 goals against average, but he finished the season with a 3.24 goals against average on the road. Played worse on the road than he did at home. He had 2 games last year against Seattle, and I'm going to get to, I know it's not the same teams. I get it. You don't have to tell me that. I got it. But he did play 2 tight games against Seattle last year. One of them was 4-3 in overtime. He made 33 saves on 36 shots for 91.7% save percentage. He also won back when they started the season, October 14th. He had a 2-1 shutout victory. Now, the problem that we've seen with St. Louis, they can't score. They finished 6 points out of the playoffs last year. They pushed at the end. They were still kind of in that too stupid to realize they're out of it stage, and they didn't make it. They lost by 6 points. Now, on the flip side, Joey Decord. A lot of people high on this guy. Last year was just his second year in the NHL. He started 14 games before that. This is the fourth year for the Seattle Kraken. They made the playoffs in year 2. They made a big coaching change this past year. We'll get to that in a second. Joey Decord, he lost that April game 4-1. Yeah, not his finest performance. He did stop 24 of 27 shots. He finished the year with a 2.46 goals against average. That was 91.6% saving. Joey Decord, again, really that was his come-out season last year, his breakout season. He was cooking. You look at his overall performance, fourth in total goals saved above average, the goals against average. He was just behind Sergei Bobrovsky, Stanley Cup winner. He was also behind Thatcher Demko and Connor Hellebuck, two of the goalies that we talked about and rode down the stretch the entire way of the season. He was 6th in goals against average. He was tied for 5th in save percentage. This young guy's one of the best goalies in the league, or at least he was. From his perspective, he kind of had to tread fall off the tires towards the second half of the year. They had some injuries in goaltending status, and they just had to keep riding this guy. Even though he was tired and gassed, they still put him back in there. It was really a disservice to his overall numbers, despite the fact that he still finished in the top 5 pretty much across the NHL. The big change for the Flyers. The big change for the Kraken. Coaching change. Now, I wasn't high on the draft pick or the draft process, the way they went through the franchise, draft order as they built that team. Vegas, I thought, made the perfect playbook of how to go out there and, negotiate long-term. Seattle wasn't so good about that. They just kind of came in there and they made a bunch of guys. They made some picks and made some promises, but, Hextall was the guy that was coaching Hextall. And now they bring in Danny Bilesma, promoted from within the organization. Danny Bilesma won the Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then he had back-to-back Calder Cup champions with that Seattle organization. So he's been, now I mentioned that 4th year in the NHL because those draft picks that they picked up over the last 3 years have been working under Bilesma and Bilesma's system. Now you got one of the best goalies in the league. You got a team that's brought their coach up from within, who's been developing those players. They know his system. It's not figuring things out for the first time. That dude's a playoff coach. Bilesma went 6 straight seasons with the Penguins making the playoffs. To me, it's got to be an opportunity to take this Seattle Kraken team. St. Louis, if you look at the power rankings, they're behind Utah in their conference or their division. Utah was Arizona last year. Arizona was so bad, nobody came to the game. They're behind Utah. They're just ahead of Chicago. And we know Chicago was awful. That's how they got, the Connor Bedard sweepstakes out there. They just don't score. Their lack of scoring, 25th% in power plays out of a 30-team league, not going to cut it. 6th fewest 5-on-5 goals out there as well. The only 30-goal scorer they had on the team was Jordan Kyrou. They're just not scoring. Now, they did make some acquisitions from the Oilers. Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg, defenseman. They offered him a deal in the restricted free agency. Oilers said, fuck it, go ahead, take off. And so now they've got him in St. Louis. They went defense in the offseason, not to plug their offensive weapon challenge, because they saw that Binnington doesn't have what he used to have. So they're concerned. Flip side of things, Matty Beniers, one of those crushers out there, 37 points in 77 games, in his 3rd NHL season, 57 points in 80 games, 2022, 2023. They got a draft pick that was their first overall pick in Wright. This guy's coming into the NHL now as well. 7 points in 16 games at the NHL, but 47 points in 59 games for who? Danny Bilesma down in Coachella Valley. 14 points in 13 playoff games. That dude's a winner. The trend that's going to correlate with this thing to me is NHL opening night favorites are 48-11. It's good enough for me to jump in We're going to take a shot with the Seattle Kraken, and we're catching them at minus 130. All I can give you guys up and down the line when it relates to the Seattle team, coaching changes are a positive. Goaltending moves are a positive. Youth in the organization's a positive. And St. Louis doesn't have enough to go out there and score to match the competition. So give me this Seattle Kraken team. It'll be our second official NHL play of the season. And we're doing it again early because it's a 4:30 p.m. start. So by the time this game rolls around tomorrow, by the time pre-gaming rolls around tomorrow, hopefully we're saying let's rock and roll. Philip Grubauer was the guy that was hurt. Now, this is the thing about goaltending. It's just like pitching. We have to stay closer to it as the game gets closer to us, but nothing wrong with Philip Grubauer. He came off of that huge Colorado season, didn't have his great year last year, but then he dealt with injuries and Decord bouncing back and forth. So we'll keep our eyes on exactly what it looks like, but I'm going to go out there. JW says Binnington is overrated. Let's run back to Florida Thursday unders, Mikey. You guys remember some of those spots out there. That's it for you guys. That's all I got today. Happy Monday to everybody. We gave you guys a bunch of looks in that New Orleans game. I'm going to be heavily invested in closely monitoring that game. We're going to be looking for a Perez opportunity. Stir and Company says Seattle puck line minus 1.5. Not against that. Not against that. Or the minus 1. The minus 1 will put you down around even money. Probably going to do a lot more minus 1s this year. I'm a UFC guy too, so I'm not against going up to like 140. But long term, we were flipping over to those minus 1s and taking pushes if we had to. So thank you, Ramon Scott. Thank you, Trisha M. Thank you, J Main, Mel, Stirring Company, Philly Eagle Flyer. Appreciate all you guys hanging out tonight. J Dub, Coin, Irish King. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you having my back, keeping me informed. Philly Eagle Flyer, Redbeard, J Dub, Ricky Levine, Kelly McInnes, Kelly V, Rockin' Cliff Yang. Let's have some money. Let's make some cash tonight, Brian Smith. What do you say, Barry, Marco Carrasco? Let's get this cash, boys and girls. I'm looking forward to coming back in here tomorrow talking about the huge night that we had. Fingers crossed. Get yourself a cocktail. Enjoy yourself a glorious evening. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, pregame at 6 p.m. Make sure you check out Ramon Scott. 9 a.m. Eastern, Monday to Sunday. Only here at Sports Money, the Morning Steam. We'll see you guys soon. Appreciate it, everybody. Take care. Good luck with your bets. Get that cash.